Yo. Firstly, you guys need to be honest. Let me find something to put you on. Why doesn't it zoom when it's recording? Right. Hello. Anyways, how's the quality? This is that Sony ZV-1 Ting. Tell me how good it is. Or not good, actually. I feel like it's washing my face out a lot, but I'm also by the window. Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, thank you for being here. Today's video is going to be similarities and differences between Australia and UK culture, just mainly differences actually, things that I have noticed. I've been here for 6 weeks, so yeah, and there's just a few things that I've enjoyed, things I haven't enjoyed. I'm going to go in no particular order. I've literally just made a list on my phone, and I think I'm gonna talk in depth about a couple of things, and then in the end I'll just do some rapid fire. Let's just get into it. Let's get into it. So first thing, no particular order. Okay, so you know how in Australia we say like how are you as a way of greeting people? You just, not even greeting people, it's just like what you say when you're like interacting with someone. You're like, hey, how you going? You're like, yeah, good mate. And how are you? It's like, yeah, good, and you move on. Here, everyone says, are you right? Are you alright? And I swear to God, the first time someone said it to me, I was like, is something wrong with me? Like, what's going on? But yeah, it's just like their way of like greeting. You say, are you right? And you say, oh yeah, good. And you say, are you right? Or you say, yeah, good, how are you? So that kind of like, yeah, took me by surprise. Even now, like I still get shocked when someone asks me, are you alright? Because I'm like, is something wrong with me? Yeah, that's the first thing, like everyone says, or at least everyone that I've interacted with, says that it's just like a general way of interacting. Second thing, okay, this is going to be one of my favorite things about London. Because it's just this big, beautiful, melting pot of people, of cultures. It's just so rich in so many different personalities, and everyone you interact with, most people that you interact with are actually not from here. It's amazing. There is a lot of freedom to be yourself because there is no one else that you can be like. Everyone that you interact with is from somewhere else. They speak multiple different languages. They have a completely different background. So it just gives you a lot of freedom to be yourself. It's so amazing having like a manager, or you know, going up to a store and people that you interact with, they have an accent. Like it's just, it makes you feel so normal as a black person. Anyways, so that's my experience. Next thing, the tube. This is a good and bad thing. I'm gonna start with the bad. The bad thing is I've found, this might be a little bit TMI as well, so if you're like squeamish, maybe skip this part. But in my mucus, there's been like dust, like black, like my mucus has been black. I don't know how else to say it. And it's literally been because of the tube. If I'm standing by the window, yeah, for some reason the dust just gets all into my airways, my cavities, and then I find that like it sits in my lungs, sits in my nose, and when I like blow my nose, it's literally black. And that was not also like a single experience. I spoke to like a fellow Australian that I work with, and she had like a similar experience when she moved here. I don't know if people just like get used to it, or yeah, but I've also seen people wear masks on the tube, and I think that might be why. I don't think it's as bad if you don't stand by the window, but there was this one day where I was like going out and it was just too hot for me not to be standing beside the window, and then I don't actually like clock it. That's one of their that's one of the slangs here that people use. It means to like catch on. Like I didn't like realize. Anyways, and also it's just starting to get hot here, and it is so horrible being on the tube, especially in the morning when you're like commuting to go to work. Everyone is like packed in like sardines. It's freaking ridiculous. I think I caressed some girls like butt on the way to work the other day, but that's literally just how you have to do it to get into work. I had an incident like on my second week of work where I caught the overground to get to the tube. Well, I wanted to catch the overground to get to the tube. And I got there at like 8:20 or something, thinking it wouldn't be too bad. And the train comes and it's literally like full, like so full to the point like the doors weren't even closing. So I was like, oh my God, let's wait for the next one. The next one comes and it's like 2 minutes later. It's the same thing. And I'm like, oh hell no. So I ended up being late. So yeah, the tubes get really hot. Not all the lines are air conditioned. Most of the lines are not air conditioned. So in the summertime, it's pretty awful. But other than that, like being on the tube isn't too bad. They come really frequently. Like that's one of the best things about London is the public transportation system. It's incredible. It really is unmatched. You are so well connected. You really don't need a car. And yeah, speaking of that, like there is no point in having a car in London. One, there's nowhere to park. Two, you get charged for like driving into the city. And yeah, the public transport system is amazing. A little bit expensive, in my opinion, but it's just London in general. And in the evenings, like you get some interesting characters. The park. So when the sun comes out, there's a lot of parks here. Firstly, like a lot of parks, and they're huge. And just like some small ass little park with a playground. They're like big parks. When the sun comes out, everyone literally just lounges around like it's a beach. The other day we were in Clapham and these people, those girls in bikinis, men in Speedos, like they were just out there. So that was kind of shocking, but I understand because the sun doesn't come out. Maybe I probably don't understand to the extent they do. I will find out in the winter, but yeah. Next thing, Soymilk. Okay, like what is going on? I think I talked about it in my last video, but soy is so bad here. Like I pour it out of the jar and it's literally got this like beige color to it. At work, we get like free milk and all that. And literally like I pour it out of a bottle and it's a weird color and it tastes so awful. I don't know, maybe it's imported from somewhere where they don't like grow it like locally here. But then again, like I don't know what Australia does. But yeah, there's no sort of like, I don't know, the standard of soy milk is terrible. So if you're vegan, if you drink plant-based milk, then yeah, I think oat milk is more of a thing here. Oat milk, coconut milk, I think, almond milk. I don't know who likes almond milk, honestly. Tastes like dishwashing liquid. I don't know why they do this, but when it comes to pay, you get paid on a monthly basis here. Like, what? You want me to wait how long to get paid? Like, talk about delayed gratification. Oh my God, you better love your job. So with me, I started on the 15th of May. Most companies, their cutoff for like when you get paid is like the 14th. So if you don't start work before, if your contract doesn't start before the 14th of May, you'll get back paid. That just seems to be like the culture here, which is just really odd to me. And when it comes to tax as well, like you pay, so when I got my visa, I paid an NHS, I paid some sort of like NHS payment. And then out of your every pay, you get like an income tax. And there's also a NHS like tax that you have to pay every single month. And then I think if you're a student, obviously you have your student loan and stuff. So I haven't been paid yet. At the end of June, I will let you know how that looks. But yeah, I think that's really weird. I loved getting paid every 2 weeks. I think if you do agency work, you might get paid every week, but yeah. So I guess like talking about the train, actually there's two things when it comes to etiquette. So there's smoking, which is just pervasive here, and it's fine. Like if you smoke, it's your choice, it's fine. But here people be smoking and they just blow it in your face. Like they do not care. I was standing at the bus stop the other day and this guy, I don't know he was standing in front of me. And all of a sudden, I'm suffocating. My lungs are gone. Oh, it just wasn't enjoyable. Anyways, I look over and this guy's blowing the big puff of cigarette smoke in my face, which is not ideal. So I really don't enjoy that side of it. There's e-cigarettes everywhere. That's not ideal. But yeah, anywhere you're walking, people don't look to see if there's anyone around them before they start smoking. And it's just, personally, I really, really don't enjoy that. It really annoys me. I don't know if this falls under etiquette, but I was in the grocery store the other day and I couldn't find a basket, right? So I was just like, it was after work, it was like 6 p.m. I was carrying all these things in my hand because I couldn't find a basket. Anyways, so I go to like the bread section, which is like the last thing I need to get, and I haven't bought bread here yet, so I'm trying to figure out what options there are, like seeded, unseeded. Where's my sourdough? I just want my sourdough. Where's the Vienna? Do they even have Vienna? Who knows? There's like 1,000 grocery stores here. So anyways, I'm like looking through the bread. Next minute, I feel something like falling from my elbow, but I was like, nah, like, you know, I'm pretty attentive. Anyways, next minute, I hear this like smash. And I'm like, what's going on? I look down and this glass jar of pesto is all shattered on the ground. I completely forgot that I picked it up. And I'm like, oh damn. So I went to like the little bakery section. I got this girl's attention. I was like, excuse me. I just dropped a little glass jar of pesto over there. Anyway, so I let her know. And then at the same time, there was this man who also noticed it. And he was like coming over to try and tell her as well. So anyways, I go and like get her, take her to the little mess, and then she like calls someone, and anyways, I'm still standing there by the mess, by the glass jar, and I'm like trying to find my bread, feeling super guilty, super awful. Like, one thing about me is I really don't like to do the wrong thing. So, but yeah, anyway, so I'm like looking through the bread, and this guy comes around the corner. I was telling this story to my friends. To my friends at work. I was dying. This guy comes around the corner. He's like, "What's going on? What happened? What's spilled?" And then he sees the jar on the floor, and he's like, "Oh man, come on, man. Are you serious? Come on." And I'm like standing there, trying to pick my bread, like, yeah, sourdough, Vienna, what's going on here? And he was just like going, bruv, come on. And I turn around and I'm like, oh my God. So I'm like, so I go over to him and I'm like, I'm so sorry, that was me. I really didn't mean to. Like, I felt so awful. He looks at me and he's like, come on, man. I'm laughing about it now, but trust me, in the moment, like, one thing about me as well is like my conscience. I could never have walked away or like not owned up to that. So anyways, I felt so bad. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Like I really didn't, what did I say? I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, that was me. And the man just looked me like dead in the eyes and was like, come on. Anyways, and then the other guy that was like trying to get the girl's attention initially as well, he was like, oh, don't worry about it. These things happen, accidents happen. Don't feel bad. So then I walked off. But yeah, that was funny because like, yeah, I think my whole point was in Australia, like, you know, the customer comes first, don't make the customer feel bad, treat them right, all this stuff. Like that would never really happen. People can't, I don't know, I feel like people can't really like express like how they feel. There's this sort of like etiquette that you have to stick to. So I kind of really like that about London. And you best bet I'm going back to that same grocery store because I've seen the guy there a few times as well. And the other time he smiled at me, but I don't know, I haven't been back since because I didn't need groceries, I wasn't avoiding him, but I'll keep you updated on what happens. Now some rapid fire. Traffic lights. Traffic lights here, they go from red to yellow to green. And when I asked someone that, they pretty much said it so that you can get ready to go. I don't really know. It's a lot more dirty than I was expecting. I wasn't expecting it to be this dirty, but they have like a lot of cleaners. There's always like street cleaners, and at night I've seen like trucks going around all the time. Grocery stores, there are so many freaking grocery stores and the quality is vastly different, which yeah, is shocking. There's a Lidl here, which is a branch of Aldi, and I've got that in Australia. I think mainly in Australia, or at least Brisbane, we have Coles, Woolies, Aldi, and I think Harris Farm is starting to sort of like make an appearance, but yeah, here they got like 7. There's like Lidl, Aldi, Tesco, Sainsbury's. Oh, that reminds me. I was in Sainsbury's the other day, which is kind of like, it's not like the lower grade of grocery store options, but it's not exactly high as well. And I was like in the hair section. I found hair gel, like Eco Styler hair gel, and then that got to be glue, which kind of amazed me. And that's kind of one of my favorite. What I really enjoy about being here as well is just the, I guess like the catering to like all ethnicities. I don't feel like I'm like an outsider, if that makes sense. Like I can go to my local grocery store and buy the things I need. But yeah, there's also a lot of standalone shops, like a lot of, how do you describe it, like small owned businesses, like really family owned businesses. And you know, there's a lot of like hairdressers that are like that, a lot of like food shops that are like that. And it is encouraged, obviously, you buy your EcoStyler gel from those businesses as opposed to like the large supermarkets. But the fact that I can buy those things at large supermarkets, it just shows that they are catering to the population, which is really nice. And yeah, in Brisbane, I had to drive like 20 minutes to this one corner of the city to buy hair gel, which I don't know, it's not really ideal, but I also understand that there isn't much of a population for it, so I like it in that aspect. Public transport, I already said, it's freaking amazing. Everyone's really chill. Like the people I've interacted with, like no one is like hyper watching you like they do in Australia. Like everyone just lets you be you. The weather. Now, when I say the weather, yes, we've had a few cloudy days, but they have seasons here. They have actual seasons here. Like when I arrived, it was spring and it was cold, but the way that like, there's just like flowers everywhere and they get actual like seasons of hot, cold. But yeah, I don't know, you never really feel like you're experiencing a season in Brisbane. Maybe in other parts of Australia, but yeah, it's just so nice to be able to like walk down the street and you just feel it. Like it's just the flowers. I think like I just love that. There's flowers everywhere. The trees like blossom. There's just like so much color. They're so lush. Yeah, it's beautiful. Sunsets. The sunsets are like 10:30 as I'm recording this. It's 8 p.m. and it's literally so bright outside. Box cutters, they call them blades. Aluminium, they call it tinfoil. British slang. Oh my god, that's gonna be a whole other video because the things they'd be saying out here, like, they'd be wilding. They'd be wilding. People here talk too much. Okay, I shouldn't generalize like that. Some people I've interacted with, they go in such a roundabout way of saying something. Instead of just like saying something that could be said in one sentence. There's no Moscato. What is that about? I cannot find Moscato in the goddamn city. Alcohol, they sell alcohol at the grocery store, which I know they also do in some parts of Australia, but yeah, in Brisbane they don't. It's very convenient, except they have like these caps on the top of them, and I thought initially it was kind of like a serving cup, and I went to like the self-serve checkout, and I was like, oh yeah, trying to like go out the door with it, and then like the lady who was like attending the self-serve checkout came over and she was like, I need to take that off, and I was like, is it not a cup? And she was like, no. Food quality, the food, I don't know, even at like the more expensive grocery stores, it's just not the same. It's really not the same, but there are a lot of nice places to eat at, a lot of things to do, a lot of things to see. Yeah, there's so many beautiful things about living here, but yeah, so that's been my experience so far. Thank you so much for watching this video. Obviously, like everything that I've said, it's just things that I've noticed. And yeah, it's just a little fun video to make. I'm hoping to vlog a bit more, but I'm still trying to figure out like how I want to do it, because obviously like I'm working every day and I don't know, I'm training at the moment as well, so my shifts don't give me too much flexibility. But yeah, we'll work it out because I do want to show you London. I'll see you in the next video. I'll put this pot back.